Happiness is not about having more. Sometimes it's simply about wanting less. Today on Wise Vibes Daily, we bring you a gentle story with a powerful message. The fisherman who never had enough. In a quiet coastal village, where waves whispered against the shore, there lived a fisherman named Matteo. Matteo was known for his simple life. Every morning, he paddled his small wooden boat into the calm ocean and caught just enough fish for his family to eat and sell. He was not rich. He did not chase wealth. He enjoyed the sun, the sea, and the peaceful rhythm of each day. One afternoon, after selling his catch, Matteo lay under a palm tree, smiling softly as he watched the shoreline. To him, life was enough. One day, a businessman from the city came to the village on vacation. He saw Matteo resting under the tree and frowned. "Why aren't you out there fishing more?" the businessman asked. Matteo looked up and replied, "I've caught enough for today." The businessman shook his head, frustrated. "If you fished more, you could earn more money," Matteo smiled calmly. "And what would I do with more money?" The businessman straightened proudly. "You could buy a bigger boat." "And then?" Matteo asked. "Then," said the businessman, "you could catch even more fish and save enough to buy 2 boats." Matteo nodded slowly. "And then?" Then you could build a whole fishing company, hire workers, sell tons of fish, become rich." Matteo chuckled gently. "And what would I do once I'm rich?" The businessman laughed. "Well, once you're rich, you can finally relax and enjoy your life." Matteo looked at the waves with peaceful eyes. "And what do you think I'm doing now?" The businessman froze. He had spent his whole life believing that happiness came after success, after achievement, after wealth, after someday. But this fisherman, with no riches, no company, no grand future plan, was already living the peace the businessman had been chasing for decades. Matteo smiled kindly. "You see," he said, "people often run after things they don't truly need. For me, a small boat, a morning on the sea, food for my family, and a quiet afternoon are enough." But there was another fisherman in the village named Rudo, whose heart was never satisfied. Every day he compared himself to others. Every day he wanted more fish, more money, more recognition. He bought a bigger boat, worked longer hours, slept less, and pushed himself harder. But the more he gained, the more he felt he was missing something. His net was full, yet his heart was empty. One evening, exhausted and frustrated, Rudo saw Matteo resting under the same palm tree, watching the sunset with peace in his eyes. "How can you be so calm?" Rudo demanded. "You don't have anything." Matteo smiled gently. "Or maybe, I have everything I need." This story teaches us you can have a full net and an empty heart, or an empty net and a full heart. True wealth is not boats, money, or success. True wealth is contentment, peace of mind, time with loved ones, joy in simple things, a life lived slowly, not desperately. The fisherman Matteo wasn't richer than others. He was simply wiser. He knew that happiness doesn't grow from having more. but from appreciating enough. Thank you for listening to today's story. If life has made you run too fast, pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I truly need more, or do I simply need to appreciate what I already have? See you again in the next story on Wise Vibes Daily.